Hey, everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarian. Rich is not here today. I'm solo. I believe this may be the first show on Matt Men that I've done solo without Rich here in some capacity, or a co-host here in some capacity. I've done a lot of like one-offs where I've done, like, I've just decided to go live and recorded something, and we've done like 20, 30 minutes of it. But this is the first time we're doing a solo show. It's going to be a little quicker, obviously, because Rich is not here. Nothing bad. He's okay. I know speculation will begin. There's no problems. He took some days off this week, so he's back next week. He'll fill you in on why he wasn't here, obviously. MG Geek is on the line, also here to produce the show. Hey, MG Geek, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going? There's no truth to the rumor that Andrew is packing Rich's stuff in a garbage bag as we speak.
No, I did not pack his stuff in a garbage bag. I did not do that. And you know what? I got to tell you, would I pack it in a garbage bag? Yeah, I might. If I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to packing stuff, so maybe his stuff could be in a garbage bag. No, Rich is going to be here next week, so it's all good. I just wanted to come on today. I didn't want to skip a show because there's so much going on. I guess I'll begin with because I know the rumors are going to start being speculated the next couple days. So I want to get ahead of this. Nothing bad, all positive. I'm going to be part of something very cool on the Observer website. There's something that they're working on, and I've been talking to them. I've been talking to Tony over there, and this is a very cool concept that we're working on right now, and I believe probably by the beginning of June, this will launch. It'll be a weekly thing. It's something very cool that we're working on, and I just wanted to put it out there, and I'll have more information in the coming days. Next week, we'll have more information. Some of the other people that are going to be part of it are going to, we'll talk about and we'll do it, but it's going to be very, very cool, the concept here. So let's begin with this, because there's a ton of wrestling news, and I do want to go into the big one that we didn't get a chance to talk about last week, and that was the roster cuts. A lot of names on this list, a lot that you would predict that they were going to get cut, and some that came out of nowhere. Let's go down this list right here. So, obviously, we have Mojo Rawley, which we have not seen do much. Wesley Blake, again, another guy that we haven't seen. Bo Dallas, a lot of people are speculating that Bo would be part of the Bray Wyatt story in some capacity. Now we know that's not happening. Kalisto, which I'm a little surprised about. Tucker, I think Tucker is the out of the younger talent, I would say that was the bigger shocking name for me, because I know that they're very high on him. He's very charismatic. He has size. It just, after that split with Otis, which was for no purpose whatsoever, in my opinion. I don't think that split should have ever happened, but they did it anyway. And Tucker's released. So I think he's working on something pretty cool. Some people are speculating it's a podcast. Other people's talking about other things. We'll see what happens. Chelsea Green, another big name. A lot of stop and goes with Chelsea Green. They had plans for her multiple times, and they pull it every single time. Chelsea Green released. I believe she's Zack Ryder's girlfriend. Mickie James. Surprised about this, which we'll talk about Mickie, because there's more to the Mickie James story. Peyton Royce, Billy Kay, and the bigger shock is Samoa Joe. Billy Kay and Peyton Royce is bizarre to me. The fact that they were getting over in some capacity as a tag team, people really enjoyed the Deacon here with my vitamins. Thank you very much, intern Deacon, bringing me my morning vitamins. So nice to have an intern that does this. He's like my au pair. He's my live-in nanny. He's my housekeeper, and he's my intern. Peyton and Billy, there was something there, and they split them when they split every tag team in this company, and you saw what happened. Billy Kay was on WrestleMania, and she's released. And Samoa Joe is the biggest shock, because I think if they could use Joe, and Joe was healthy, I don't think this would have happened. There's more to the Samoa Joe story than we know. It could be very easily as something like, hey, listen, we're not going to use you as a full-time wrestler. We want to keep you on as commentary because they like using him in that role. And he said, no, I don't want to do it. I still have a couple more years left. I have more to give. And Joe is the big name. And, even talking to casual fans, which is my gauge generally, where I could determine if something is getting over, we'll use the term over, or something isn't. A lot of the times, it really comes down to the name recognition. And Samoa Joe's one of those names where people are like, well, he has to be going to AEW, right? Great get for AEW. Obviously, him and Andrade are the two big free agents right now that would be a tremendous asset anywhere that they go. The other names, some of them, they're going to bounce back. I think Billy and Peyton, they'll do well. Obviously, Mickie James, she'll always be part of wrestling. Chelsea Green, she's, up and coming. She'll do something. Bo Dallas, Wesley Blake, Mojo, Kalisto, even Tucker a little bit. I don't know. I don't know where this places them, but very interesting. This came at, the time that you expect it to come. Generally, this is when they do it. It was on the 1-year anniversary of last year's firings. There was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that also happened here, which we'll go into. Let's talk about Mickie James here quickly. So, Mickie posted on Twitter a couple days ago that she posted a video, essentially, showing how she got her gear and her accessories back, and it was in a garbage bag that said Mickie on it. And the internet blew up here, right? They blew up that it's disrespectful, and it's, how could you treat your talent that way? And we were talking in the Matman production group chat, right? And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to explain to you why. If you, as head of talent relations, head of human resources, head of just communication with your staff, with your talent, if you are doing a great job at that, a situation like this would never happen, right? First, it wouldn't happen because you wouldn't pack someone's crap in a garbage bag and mail it, right? You would have a little bit more organization of an exit package where your talent gets released, you send them a care package, that stuff is folded nicely, neatly. You have the resources to do this. You have the budget, you have the ability, you have the staff. Why not send people off feeling appreciated, right? With that said, I don't think this was done with malice or negativity or as an F you to Mickie James. The garbage bag isn't the problem. You know what it is? It's the perception of the garbage bag. If you did your job as head of talent relations and you did your job in that entire department and you, for God knows what, we're in a pandemic, maybe a lot of the availability to stuff that they would normally have, they don't have. They were scrambling to mail this stuff. They're very overworked, and you put it in a garbage bag and you mail it. If you did your job well and you made your talent feel appreciated, nobody would look at this garbage bag as a sign that it's an F you to me. And even Mickie James came out, and I think she kind of felt bad. She's like, I don't think this was done on purpose. I don't think she wanted anybody fired for it. But, this could be taken. As far as the optics go, this looks terrible, right? Not only did you fire this person, you packed this shit in a garbage bag and just threw it at, just the perception of it. Would I be upset? No. If it was not done with malice or any kind of negativity, if it was just somebody being a lazy person or just incompetent at packing stuff, I would accept it as this guy's just lazy and he just rushed and he packed it. But this says more. There's more of a conversation here as far as what the overall perception is of the talent and what they think that the company thinks of them. I don't. This is more telling than anything else. And this now, to sum up the story, as soon as she shared that, Triple H and Steph put out a public apology immediately. Like immediately, they got ahead of this and apologized. Said the person that did this is terminated. We should never treat our talent this way. Yes, yeah, I get it. You know what? You as a multi-billion-dollar company should have things in place where when you are letting someone go and you're mailing them their belongings, you could do something pretty nice to make the person feel a little bit valuable, right? MG Geek, I want to get your quick opinion on this.
As far as, I kind of agreed with you. I'm like, it's not a big deal. How I've been fired before, and I've had my stuff put like that.
In a garbage
It
bag.
wasn't a big deal. Yeah, but it was in a different context, right?
Yeah.
The fact that it was mailed, that was a little tacky. The only thing I thought of is maybe it was dirty. Maybe it was the stuff she wore at NXT, and it was in wardrobe, and they just threw it in. Someone lazily threw it in a bag and sent it. That's the only thing I could think of.
I spoke to a friend of mine, and he's a professional athlete, right? I'm not going to say where or what type of sport. I don't want to out him on the story, but he has said that when he has switched teams, he at times has had his stuff mailed to him like this in a garbage bag because it was clothing.
Yeah.
And he has had it mailed to him in a garbage bag, but he never saw it as a negative thing because his relationship with the team was always solid. He knew how they felt about him. So I think this is more telling of what the talent thinks the company believes their worth is. And that's never good.
Yep, that's the key right there is the perception.
The perception, not good.
It's not the act that happened, but the perception.
The perception, the optics. And I think Stefan and Hunter apologizing, that was understandable. Now, there were two big firings. Mark Carano, head of talent relations, was fired. Mark Carano's job was replaced a couple of weeks ago. John Laurinaitis is the new head of talent relations. So I don't know if this was coming to Mark. I don't know much about him. I haven't really heard a ton about, what it's like to deal with him. I know that, he has some issues with certain people. You can kind of get that vibe if you follow along with what's going on, but I've never heard anything just blatantly negative about him. Maybe this was, they were replacing him anyway, and this was the time to do it, and they threw him, he's in charge of this. And obviously, if your talent is publicly speaking negatively about you and the company, he's the one responsible for it. John Cone is another one that's interesting. Referee John Cone, he was in the talent relations department. He was let go last week, and he was rehired. He was let go to become a ref again, and he was rehired after this firing. So there's a ton of movement here. I think this has something to do with also Nick Khan really trying to change how this works, how this company is being perceived, and how the backstage stuff is being worked on, behind the scenes stuff. WWE is a very unique company, and I think we're starting to see the transition into more of a institutional sports franchise style of operating rather than it being the traveling circus. That's where we're headed here. So a lot of stuff here. If I were gonna, other than obviously Samoa Joe, MG Geek, who's the biggest surprise on this list of firings for you?
The big one, honestly, Peyton and Billy, especially Billy Kay. Billy Kay was on Mania like 4 days earlier.
Yeah,
that's the big one to me. And the fact, and she is. This is going to be funny, but she is one of a handful of people that had their last match at WrestleMania.
There's not too many people like that.
The last woman was AJ Lee.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because remember she retired a few days after Mania.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, Bob Rowe in our chat room had an interesting statement. He goes, "Could it have been related to COVID?" I would have said yes, but other people have come out and said this is how they've received their stuff also in the past. So maybe this is just what they've done and now it's come to light. Again, all this comes down to is how happy is your staff? How valuable does your staff feel that they are? You don't need to be main eventing to feel value in a company. Just knowing that there's support and there's appreciation would go a far longer way. Especially in a story like this and a situation like this. So, a couple of things. A&E had the Steve Austin documentary, pretty good. It was a WWE produced assisted documentary. There was a lot of stuff that they glazed over. But I think it was a pretty decent 2-hour doc. It's a long documentary, pretty decent. The Roddy Piper trailer hit. Very strange moment in this trailer. I'm going to break this down for you, right? In this moment, Vince is on the phone, right? He takes a phone call. I swear to God, this is real. Vince takes a phone call, and it's Roddy. And at first, I thought it's an older clip when I first saw it. I'm like, oh, this is from a couple years ago, and they were doing something, and Roddy called Vince. No. The entire thing was manifested in Vince's head, where he's talking to Roddy, and Roddy's in hell. And he's telling him it's really warm there, and he has a seat ready for him when he's ready. And they go back and forth about how Roddy's in hell, and he's ready for Vince, and he has a seat there, and he says, I'll see you soon. And then Vince gets off. He's like, he's not in hell, he's in heaven. And he hangs up. What a bizarre, I got to tell you, man, can you imagine? I just want you to, who's the chairman of NFL?
Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell. There you go. Roger Goodell. Great example, because he's already hated by many people. Can you imagine Roger Goodell doing an interview on a former football player that has passed away, right? A legendary football player. Give me one that you could think of.
Oh my God, there's so many, and I can't even think of the one I'm thinking.
I don't even want to think of the tragic ones. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to go there. Just you know what? God, I don't want this to happen. Joe Namath. Let's say Joe Namath passes away, and Walter Payton. There you go. Walter Payton, great example. Walter Payton. Roger Goodell's doing an interview. He pretends to take a phone call from Walter Payton, and they're like, "Oh, I'll see you in hell." Can you imagine? What a step! I mean, it's just so wacky, man. So wacky. WWE Treasures first episode was finding Mick Foley's gear. Also, there was a great Mick Foley promo where he did the Dusty Rhodes promo. He did it for a cameo, I think. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
He does he does the Hard Times interview as Mankind. Very, very good. We also had WWE earnings call. Some of the highlights from this earnings call. Vince opened the call with the basic remarks, but didn't participate with questions. This is the second call in a row. He has taken a major seat back. I believe he left midway through the first one. Steph was also part of the call. Second time for her to be part of it as well. Obviously, Nick Khan was there. They have signed an anime deal with Crunchyroll, so you'll be seeing WWE anime. Okay, cool. Nick ran most of the show. It seems like he's going to be running he's running all the business. I mean, he's very impressive. I know that he's bringing in a lot of his people from the Zone. That's pretty much how corporate structure works. You get a new CEO, you get a new president, or anybody that leads a department, and they bring their own people in. That's how it always is. They're still planning on international expansion. That's something that they've been working on for many, many years. We've heard NXT, South America. We've heard NXT Japan. We've heard China. We've heard India, which is happening. So I know that they were planning on doing something in the Middle East. So the expansion is still being planned for the next big international star.
Can I just add something or ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think that this is the long-term setup for Vince, life after Vince?
I think they've been in the life after Vince gear for about 10 years now. And he's not going to go away. I mean, 10 at the time they started. Now, I think there's more of a chance that he's going to take more of a back seat. You're hearing the story where he's showing up to TV at like 4 or 5 in the afternoon now, 6 in the afternoon. He's in and out. He's working on stuff. So I think the phasing out process has begun. I think he's very realistic, and he realizes that, listen, there's only so much he could do at this point. 70-something years old. You slow down a lot. And he has built a tremendous team, and he said this during the call. This is the best team he's ever had, as far as
probably correct
corporate structure goes. Because, dude, you know what? He's absolutely right. absolutely right. I mean, this is a legitimate company. You hear the story. I mean, Bruce Pritchard told a great story where Hogan and Vince were, it's 1993, things are really bad between them. And they literally take a stuffed Hulk Hogan wrestle buddy and they hang a noose around the neck of the wrestle buddy, and they hang him in front of Vince's office windows from the roof. And him and Patterson are laughing their asses off, and Hulk and Vince are pissed off in a meeting. You know, like, that won't happen ever anymore. Different environment, different world we live in. Can you imagine that now? Can you just imagine that?
No.
What different world. So yeah, I think this is Vince's slowly. It's a very slow transition to phase out, but you know, we're seeing it now. You know, this is a monumental moment in the company. The next couple of years. A couple other things. SmackDown, Roman opened up with a promo called Cesaro and Daniel Bryan main event losers. You've set up a match for next week where Daniel Bryan is granted the last shot at the title. If he loses, he must leave SmackDown. Does he leave SmackDown, or does he stop wrestling? Does he... I'm curious what happens here. Does he go to Raw?
You heard the interview, right? You heard about the interview he gave about how he was detached at Mania, and he didn't.
You know
feel
what?
it.
I have to tell you, I was very shocked by his honesty. You know, his contract's ending.
That's the other thing. And then there's rumors that he might want to do one last run on the Indies.
His contract is ending. He did, you know, he stayed with that company because of his family. That's the only reason why he stayed that last run. He stayed because they offered him a tremendous amount of money. He got a world title run, right?
Yep.
He's a multi-time world champion. I mean, what is it? 3 times? 4 times?
I think.
5 times.
It's 5, yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Just think about that. He's a 5-time WWE champion in some capacity. Either it's the world title, it's the WWE title. And nobody recognizes it. I mean, they just remember that big, you know, monumental yes movement that happened. But other than that, like, nobody ever talks about he's a 5-time champion, which is always interesting to me.
They did say it on commentary last night.
Did they really? I missed that part. Okay, interesting.
That's why I remember it.
Yeah, interesting. But prior to that, it's not really something that's mentioned. You know, Randy Orton comes out, you talk about how he's a 13-time champion, 14-time champion every single freaking time. But it's not something that they've really pushed with him. So interesting there. I'm curious to see what they do with that. Aleister Black is back. He did a creepy vignette. He's sitting down. He's doing his spooky stuff. So, okay, that's cool. I'm excited for that. And then we're going to get Bayley and Bianca for WrestleMania Backlash. Very interested in this. Very, very interested. Raw ratings, 1.9 million. Nothing really new happened. Mason T-Bar were unmasked. Thank God. So that's over. Riddle defeated Orton, and it looks like Orton's hurt. I did not see this in the notes, but it looked like Orton got hurt. He messed up his shoulder, and he worked with his shoulder kind of slouched, and was working his other arm. So I think he's a little banged up there. And Charlotte loses to Asuka. Snaps on the ref, gets suspended, and then there was a lot of controversy over why she's out. She's getting dental work done. That's why she's out. NXT ratings, 841, up from 805 last week. Very good sign. We got a new gimmick for Kyle O'Reilly, the cool Kyle O'Reilly, denim jacket, sunglasses, and a fedora. Great. We'll see where that goes. LA Knight defeated Dexter Loomis. Grizzled Young Vets defeated Breezango. Saraya defeated Zoe Stark. Tony Storm attacked Zoe after the match. Io Shirai interview with Beth Phoenix. Interrupted by Frankie Monet. So Frankie Monet is going to play a part in this. We can see where the feud is going. Yeah,
real quick on that that feud. So I don't know if you've seen it, but the visual of Io Shirai stare down with her was actually with the dog, because Taya Valkyrie is so tall.
Yes, yeah, she was staring at the dog and not her.
So and then she said, "I like cats." So this whole feud is going to be over dogs and cats.
Great, very WWE, very very WWE. NXT Cruiserweight Champion Kushida defeated Oni Lorcan. Imperium defeated Everrise, and Kyle O'Reilly defeated Cameron Grimes. By the way, Cameron Grimes, it looks like Ted DiBiase is going to be involved in this, huh?
That's what they said. He was supposed to go film something. If
Yes.
he's done already, I don't know.
And by the way, can I little tidbit? Expect to see more older legendary talent on NXT.
They should.
It works for AEW.
Yeah.
It works for AEW. Why not? Talking about AEW, let's move on to them ones. Let's move on to them ones. I forgot how to speak. Unopposed second week in a row. They did 1.104 million, down by about 100,000, which is fine. It's 100,000 doesn't mean anything, but second week in a row over 1 million. You expect them to stay here. Here are the results really quickly. Hangman Page defeated Ricky Starks with Hook. It's looking like Page is Omega's next big challenger after this, which, okay, I'm cool with that. Penta defeated Trent. Why'd you put a question mark next to Trent?
I don't know.
Trent? Was it like, did he? Didn't he? I don't know why. Pinnacle sit-down interview with Jim Ross. MJF promo was very, very good. Very, very good promo. Super talented. Shida defeated Tay Conti. A really solid match. By the way, that Tay Conti match, I believe it had the highest viewers.
It was, yeah.
Do you remember what the number was?
It was 1.1 million, I think. It was, it was good. That was a very, very good match. It made Tay Conti kept strong. I think if Britt Baker wins the title, Tay Conti will be right in that title picture again.
So I got to tell you, Tay Conti, if there is a most improved award that we could give out, I mean, she really deserves it.
If we let him slip through our fingers award from NXT.
From NXT, you know what? She would have never gotten over.
No,
you know why? I'm going to tell you why. She is natural. First of all, aesthetically, she's absolutely stunningly beautiful, right? Everybody agrees on that. She's drop dead gorgeous. Forget about that. In WWE, how many? I mean, there's so many good-looking people. It's not enough to get over in WWE. You need to have the talent. She does have the talent. They would have probably given her some ridiculous storyline and ridiculous gimmick that is not her, that is not her personality, and it would not have worked. You know, Tay Conti's able to grow because she has control over what she's doing. Yep. Mm-hmm. She's herself. There's no special gimmick here. She's not the lady. You know, they would give her some stupid Brazilian gimmick, I'm sure. You know, she comes out in that outfit. What? She comes out in like in an outfit. What is it called? The outfits.
The gi?
No, not a gi. The Brazilian. What's the Brazilian like parade? Carnival. Carnival. Okay. Right? Isn't it Carnival? She come out like dressed up like in Carnival, something ridiculous. Instead of profiling, like, listen, she's very attractive. She has natural charisma, and she's working really well. Do it that way. Easy. But really solid match with Shida. Really enjoyed it. Britt Baker's challenging Shida, obviously, like you said, so that's the next program. I think Britt Baker deserves that title now. I think you could take it off of Shida, put it on Britt Baker, and have her feud with, Tay Conti and whoever else. Inner Circle interview by Tony Schiavone. Good interview by the Inner Circle. QT Marshall and the Factory defeated Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn is huge, by the way. Gigantic. This man is an anomaly. He's so big, and he's still looking great. He's moving great, and he's, in his 50s. So after the match, this was interesting. So they ran a spot that we've seen before multiple times, and it's the wooden chair shot with the no-sell. Did you see that video that somebody did comparing it, where the Rhodes family has no luck with the wooden chair?
I didn't.
So it was a video of Dusty doing it to Mang, and Mang no-sells it. And it was another one of him doing it to somebody else, and somebody else no-selled it.
Yeah. That was Nick Camarado, right? Is that
Nick Camarado? Also,
that's who did it, right? Mm.
Who do you know who he looks like?
Bruiser Brody's who I think.
No. I'm going even older than Bruiser Brody. Oh man, my brain just stopped. I can't even say the word. Pompero.
Oh,
Pompero. Yeah, Pompero. I was right. Pompero. Fripo.
okay.
He was okay. Pompero was an Argentinian Armenian wrestler. He wrestled in the AWA, and he had like a wild man gimmick, and he would do this with Mr. O'Neill, the announcer. So he would do this bar bend, and he was like this madman. He'd put him out and do this bar
that's
bend.
the guy.
Yeah,
That was okay.
So he has like this Pompero gimmick, which is interesting. We also got Christian Cage defeated Powerhouse Hobbs. Christian's looking okay. He's okay. He has to adjust. He has to just change his style a little bit. TNT Championship match. Darby Allin with Sting defeated Jungle Boy. Very good match. Very good match.
I'll just say this about that. Yeah. I think you've seen the future of AEW's title picture over the next like 5 years.
Oh yeah. They're ready. This is what they're thinking. But I'm gonna tell you, we'll see.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there. New Japan Cup US Finals. I was shocked by this, but the F4W Empire's very own filthy Tom Lawler defeated Brody King to become the new New Japan Cup US winner and the New Japan Strong Never Open Weight champion. Were you surprised?
Cool.
It was pretty cool.
I wasn't because I know he has a background, and I think he can take that into New Japan. I just hope it means that he gets like a entry into the G1. That would be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I would love to see him in the G1. Love to see him in the G1 tonight.
By October, assuming he'll be able to go over there.
Yeah. Tonight we have Impact Rebellion. Tomorrow. Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, because they moved it because of the big UFC pay-per-view tonight.
Yes, you're right. I forgot that. Tomorrow night, title for title, AEW World Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega with Don Callis versus the Impact World Champion Rich Swann. Now, this is going to lead to him showing up with all 4 belts, right?
Right. That's why I think they made the Impact, the TNA belts canon, and then so Rich was carrying around 2 belts. So now when Kenny's going to have that belt, those 2 belts, the AEW belt and the AAA
and the AAA belt. Yeah. So all right, you know what? I'm into it. I am. Yeah. I'm into it to see where it goes. I'm a big sucker for the belt collector gimmick, like always. I've always been a sucker for this, and honestly, you know when the first time I really loved it was when RVD had so RVD was the fascinating. He never had that ECW title, huh?
That is remarkable.
I'm not counting the WWE ECW title. I'm talking ECW. Well, he got hurt when they were finally about to push him, but he was another guy, never needed a title. But he had the TV title, he had the tag title. So what he would do, he would come out with both tag titles and the TV title. And then when Sabu was the FTW champion, he would have the FTW title with him also. So he would have all these belts with him. I'm a big sucker for the belt collector gimmick. Big sucker. I absolutely love it. I love the multi-title thing. It's been something I've always been into. So I look forward to seeing him do this. Even in WWE when he had the double titles.
Right.
Seth Rollins had double titles, right?
Randy Orton did. Seth Rollins did. Daniel Bryan for a while when they won the titles at Mania.
Yeah,
they had both belts for quite a while.
I'm into it. Mm-hmm. We're also going to see Impact World Tag Team Championship match. Finn Juice, which is Dave Finlay and Juice Robinson from New Japan, against the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. Impact Knockout Championship match. Tennille Dashwood and Deonna Purrazzo. Impact X Division Championship, Ace Austin versus our friend of the show, Josh Alexander and TJP. Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship, Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan versus Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. There you go. Last man standing match between Trey Miguel and Sami Callihan. Brian Myers versus Matt Cardona. When did they announce that? Matt Cardona and Cardona and Bryan.
I don't know when they announced it because I don't keep up on Impact weekly, but I think they started this like a month ago. They started building the tension for it.
I haven't seen. I've been so in and out of Impact. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow, obviously, because I'm into this. Yeah. But I hope this is a success for them. Also, Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards, James Storm, and Willie Mack versus Eric Young.
Supposed to be Cody Deaner.
Eric Young, Cody Deaner. I was like, Eric Young Deaner. I'm like, is that like a law firm?
Wow.
Yeah. Eric Young, Deaner, and Deaner. Eric Young, Cody Deaner, Joe Doring, and Rhino. That is your Impact pay-per-view for tomorrow. You want to do Q&A?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do Q&A. Do you have any questions for me? How about that? Did I miss anything?
Let's see. Is there anything in here that we...
So I got a good 5 minutes before we wrrap it up.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and... if I think of something, I'll let you know because I think I already asked my question about the. I will just kind of ask you this then. As far as the ratings go, so my take on the ratings was they have 1.6 million on Wednesday nights, and everybody's saying that how great it was for AEW's rating number. Did that number surprise you? Because it didn't me. Because there's about 375,000 WWE diehards that won't watch our AEW.
Well, remember though, this number that we get, like the 1.1, 1.2, that's the average. There's a lot more people that come in and out of a normal night. Like SmackDown, SmackDown gets about 5 million people that tune in every week in some capacity. And the high end, I think they've hit like 7 million people that tune in at some point. So I think the story here for AEW is going to be obviously building that P2, that casual fan, and also getting the eyeballs to stay and watch and continue watching and building that audience like that. Between the two nights is 1.9 million people that watch wrestling Tuesday night and Wednesday night. It's the same exact number which beats Raw, which is close to SmackDown. So that there's about 2 million people on average that watch wrestling. Okay, cool. Now you can capitalize on that. You got to keep the momentum going. I think if Kenny wins tomorrow, there'll be a lot of momentum going into the show. So you could guarantee another 1.1 million with that, at least, bare minimum. But now, dude, the bar has been set high. They got to do 1 million viewers a week now.
They do.
This is going to drop. There will be more drops. It will drop under 1 million. It's going to happen because the margin is so thin here. However, they got to continue it now. They showed that they could do it. Now you got to give up. I will always undersell what I do because then the expectation is set really high. There's very little room for error. And I think AEW has had a tremendous amount of room for error because they've always, they're competing. They are still a new company. They're in a pandemic. But now, once they start going into other venues, which is within the next couple months, we're going back to now having a live gate, drawing an audience, building up your pay-per-view business like we saw them do last time, and of course, keeping the ratings up. So, and they have 3 separate shows now.
And I expect they'll start touring too.
They're going to be a little slower at it, I think.
Right.
Because they do have Jacksonville that they can rest on.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, if they do 2 dates, I honestly, they don't even have to do a lot. I think what they could actually do is one traveling show a month where you go to a different building, and then one in Jacksonville, and you do 2 tapings from each.
And like a Saturday night show, just one Saturday night show.
I have a very unpopular opinion. I do not think the weekly live is necessary. I think for storyline continuity, I think WWE benefits from not being live every week. I don't think WWE is going to do this because they are the traveling circus, but I think AEW could really benefit from being 1 week on, 1 week off every single week, where you do a taping of 2 shows. So now you have 2 sellouts. It's going to be easier for you to do that. And you go back to Jacksonville for 2 weeks and you film over there and you have more people in the building. And then you slowly phase into it. You slowly phase more into it.
And you can tell too when it's that, because the shots are more focused on the ring and on the competitors, and they don't show the audience as much on those tape shows, but it's still good.
I don't necessarily, AEW benefited from that terrible setup over there. Do you remember when they first started running that building? We're like, it's so awkward how the ring was set up and how they were shooting a wall. You didn't get to see the crowd. The camera angles were bad. They benefited tremendously in the pandemic by being in an awkward building and being outside. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But, that's it. All right, let's wrap it up. How about that? All right, guys, quick show today. Obviously, Richard's not here. Back next week. We got a pay-per-view tomorrow night. I'm not doing a watch-along. I actually want to sit and watch the pay-per-view like a normal person that I haven't done in a long time. But we'll be back. When is the next WWE pay-per-view for a watch-along?
WrestleMania
Backlash. What is it, 2 weeks?
3 weeks, I do
3
believe.
weeks. All right, in 3 weeks we'll have another watch-along. But we're going to be back this Thursday, not Tuesday. We'll be back Thursday with another show. And everything else happening during the week. Guys, remember, follow us, subscribe to us. We're everywhere podcasts are available. We're on the F4W website. We're on the Wrestling Observer website. And everywhere else podcasts are available. See you next time. Take care.